right here, okay?
If you don't mind, I'm sorry, it just looks awkward.
Okay. No, I'm right over there.
Just
Jeff, you and Terry over here. Please. Yep. Right there's good. Yep. Okay. All right. Good morning. Enrique Delgado Garcia was pronounced deceased at UMass Hospital Lakeside at 4:30 p.m. on September 13th, Saturday. Enrique Delgado Garcia was loved by everyone in our office. He's a dedicated victim witness advocate who joined our office and was with us for about a year and a half before he left our office in April to fulfill a lifelong dream of joining the Massachusetts State Police. This is a time of mourning for Enrique's family, friends, and loved ones. This includes many of us, his fellow victim witness advocates, office employees who worked alongside Enrique within our office. This is a heartbreaking and tragic loss. Enrique constantly worked to make life better for others. He was one of the first ones to help. Whether it was the victims he was advocating for or his fellow co-workers, he always did so with one of the biggest smiles that you've ever seen. He was a unique individual. I remember many evenings after 6 p.m. that I'd be walking out of my office and Enrique would still be at the front, either talking on the phone to a victim's family, and it would be Enrique, myself, and Margaret Ruwamba, who was the supervisor within the victim witness office. We try and get him to go home. Say, Enrique, what are you doing here? It's time to go home. And he said, no, Mr. Early, I'll be leaving soon. I got a few things I still need to do. And, yeah. He'd always say, I got a little bit more here to do. I always got someone else I'm helping, Mr. Early. And because of this close relationship, someone else will be handling this matter. There's no way this office can handle this. Everyone loved Enrique. At this time, the detectives, state police detectives assigned to our office will continue to investigate this matter. They were called to the Massachusetts State Police Academy when Enrique was injured on Thursday, and they began an investigation. They've continued to investigate and will continue to do so just as they would on any other case. And they will also work with whoever takes this matter. We don't have a cause of manner of death to release at this time as the autopsy report has been concluded. The autopsy has been concluded, but the autopsy report has not been finalized. It will be completed by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. Now I'm going to be limited in what I can take for questions. I'll try and answer some questions. We're early into this. And again, our office isn't handling this. Today we're here for Enrique. This is all about Enrique. But I'll try and answer a few questions if I can.
Early, the troopers in your office who are investigating, are they going to continue to simultaneously investigate with another outside body, or are they going to just pass what they have on to an independent investigator?
They're going to continue to investigate. I don't know who will be handling the investigation. I just know it will be someone without a stake in its outcome. Okay? They'll make those decisions. That's not for me to make those decisions. Again, I have a conflict. Whoever does take over this matter will be making those decisions. But right now, we're going to continue to investigate. We're going to do it just as it is. Will other things be done? I'm sure that they will. But that's something I can't speculate on at this point.
DA, the family has concerns. In other cases in the state, as you know, the state police are under a lot of scrutiny the way they've been investigating things that involve other state troopers. Would you rather see this go to the federal level and away from the state police?
Okay. I'm not going to speculate as to that, Bob. I did talk to several people about taking over this matter on Friday. I'm not going to get into who they are. I'm not going to get into who they are. And we talked about the case. My concern is that we can't investigate it, okay? And I want it done by someone who doesn't have a stake in its outcome. And I hope that answers your question.
The police are really concerned, people are really concerned that Enrique was beaten to death, that his teeth were knocked out,
What are your concerns and what do you know about what happened at the academy last week?
Again, we know it was in the boxing ring. It was videotaped. But like I said, the autopsy's been concluded, but the report hasn't been finalized. So, but I shouldn't be speaking to that. It's going to be whoever we give this matter to will be able to address that. And they've got to be able to do a thorough and complete investigation. And again, it has to be someone without a stake in its outcome.
Is there a conflict of interest to have the troopers dedicated to your office? Since, you know, State Police Academy, MSP troopers, is that a conflict?
At this point, we have a conflict as an office, but right now we can't stop this investigation. And the state troopers that we have assigned to our state police detective unit are some of the finest, most professional people that I've ever dealt with in my life. And I am certain that they will continue to do this in a professional way. And we've got to do things. You just can't stop an investigation. There's some things that have to be, they're time sensitive, they have to keep going. But whoever does handle this matter will have an opportunity to review everything from top to bottom, bring in outside consultants, do whatever they think they need to do with regards to this.
So who is making that decision over who will be this new investigative body?
I'm speaking to people now about whether or not, who will take it and who, if they have the ability to take it, and we're going back on different things right now.
In another DA's office in this state?
I don't think another DA's office is appropriate, but I don't want to get into that either. Again, they have state troopers that work. You know, it's a paramilitary organization, and there's a chain of command. So again, I'd like to see someone take this that doesn't have a stake in the outcome of this case.
Do you think there should be an FBI investigation?
Oh, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get in. We don't know enough. I'm not going to speculate on that again. I just want to have someone looking at this, eyes looking at this, who doesn't have a stake in the outcome of the case.
You have a grieving family next to you that are concerned that this may be criminal. Do you believe there's anything criminal that happened at the academy?
Not going to speculate. That's too early in the investigation. Again, I got a conflict. They have a conflict. We have a conflict. We love Enrique. And again, this is about Enrique today. We want to make sure that what needs to be done gets done. And again, by someone without a stake in the outcome of this case.
Are any policy changes going to take place at the academy while the investigation is pending?
Yeah, that'd be a question for the state police.
Why did Enrique want to become a police officer?
His family is looking for privacy right now, but as they tell me, it was his lifelong dream to be a state trooper. I begged Enrique to stay. I said, come on, you got a place home. You got a home here. And we talked about maybe when he's a state trooper coming back and being a state police detective as well within our office. Because I thought he is such a fine, upstanding young man. He'd be the perfect representative for his family, his community. He's just an amazing young man.
Joe, would they be able to say a couple of words for us?
They don't want to, and they're just asking for privacy. I don't think any of that's changed.
President Page, do you say?
Yeah. Do you want to say anything, or?
Tell us who he was, what was he like, what do you want people to know about him?
You'll go. You don't have to. It's up to you.
Lo que queremos es que respeten la privacidad, el dolor.
No, they don't want to say anything. Just ask that you respect their privacy at this point. All his coworkers are over here. This is just an amazing kid.
How long was he working in your office?
About a year and a half. And I tell you, he was one of the nicest employees that ever worked for us, if not the nicest employee. That smile lit up a room, and he could handle people. He'd take Margaret, his supervisor, would say, Enrique, you got to get up to the courtroom. You got to get up to the courtroom. And you go, just a minute, Margaret, I have to finish with this person. I'm almost done. They want to be heard. I got to help them. And Margaret does an incredible job with her staff, about 24 people, and I know Enrique was one of her favorites too.
Joe, what does it mean that he was pinned with his badge and was given the oath of office before he's passed away, that he will now be remembered as a trooper in Massachusetts?
I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to ask the state police with regards to that. I'm not going to get into that.
Can you clarify,
Do you have any
making
idea
the decision on
what-
the investigation? Will the governor have a say on who will pick up this investigation?
Right now, we have jurisdiction of the case. And as you can see, We can't handle this case because we have a conflict. Again, we love Enrique. You know, I'm sure other people are going to be weighing in on the case. There'd be some appropriate questions for other people. But we think right now, based on the amount of questions you have, based on the activity, based on the family's concerns, we're going to get someone to review this matter that does not have a stake in its outcome.
So you'll ultimately have jurisdiction over making the call over who takes over the investigation, or?
Our office, yes, we're going to decide where it goes out to, and again,
I'm transparent with this process.
we're trying to keep it as transparent as possible, though. And that would be, you know, let someone else take a look at it.
Is
Is
that
there
another
any
DA's
indication of what
office?
his experience was like in the months that he spent at the academy?
Can't get into that at this point. I'm sure that'll all be part.
Are you confident that the entirety of the incident was captured on the video?
I can't speculate. Can't speculate as to any of that.
So,
Have you watched
right now,
it?
you want to give it to
I have
another
not.
DA's office? Is that?
No, I'm not looking to give it to another DA's office. I don't think that would be fair to my fellow DAs. They all have state police detective units. They all have a chain of command. I'm looking for someone who can look at this with an independent view, who doesn't have a stake in its
Would that be
outcome.
somebody from out of state? Would that be on the federal level?
I don't know where we're going to go on that, Bob. The people I talked to were in state. I talked to about 4 different entities on Friday afternoon about the possibility of taking this over for us.
When do you
Okay?
think you'll have a decision?
I don't know.
This week, sometime this week?
I would hope. I would hope so. I would hope so. Yeah. Yeah, I would hope so.
I want to see if anybody else would like to say anything about Enrique for us?
Anybody
else?
works with him?
People that work with him? Anybody else want
You have people don't want.
Just to have a
Family
different
doesn't, but anybody
Speak to
else
his
maybe?
role and what his responsibilities were, please.
We're going to leave that alone for right now. These guys are hurt. They were all downstairs crying 5 minutes ago. We're going to give them a break right now, okay?
Early, can you comment on the situation in Milford? There was a stabbing. Is it
Sure.
murder, suicide, or-
That's being investigated right now. It appears we have 2 dead, waiting to get a report back. We don't have anything else for you at this point.
2 dead.
Okay, excuse me. 1 dead, 1 critical. 1 dead, 1 critical. I'm sorry.
Is the videotape what happened to Enrique, is that Mass State Police property, or was that done at one of their, I don't know, I guess training facilities, or?
It was at the academy. I don't know who has ownership of it. I just know that who's ever doing the investigation will have that.
You said you haven't viewed the video?
I have not.
It seems like this is personal for you because he was such a great employee and he went on to go into law enforcement. How difficult is this for you as the DA?
This is as hard as it gets. I mean, I love that kid. Love that kid. He's just the nicest kid in the world. I said kid, he was 25. He's a young man. Was whole life in front of him. It's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's hard for all of us. I'm not the only one in this office suffering. There are a lot of people hurting right now. Okay?
People honor Enrique.
What's that?
How can people honor Enrique?
Pray for him. Say prayers. Say prayers for his family. They're hurt. All right. Thank you.